Hey, we are live. Actually, I think it's probably about the quickest time we've actually gone live, to be quite honest. Mark is just so basically we've got some mold in the bathroom, and Mark is just it's only a little bit of mold, he's just demolding it. Which of course, with condensation and we're coming into winter and just the fact that there's water around and stuff, like, you develop just a little bit of mold on the tiles. So he's just demolding that. It's always best to catch it early rather than wait till it spreads and then you've got all this sort of thing to demold. So he's just doing that at the moment. I've got my trusty nightgown. I'm not that cold at the moment, but should the need arise and I just need to a little bit of cover myself, then I will. I have been ordering a couple of things. And Mark, when Mark joins us, he's not going to be too long. Then he'll show you exactly. You might be able to see a little one just over there. I don't know. Yeah, there we go. You might see a little corner of this one, and you won't know it unless you've been to Disney or you've watched the relevant film, because there is a film about it. And Mark will show you when he comes downstairs. I have my Nightmare Before Christmas. It's a t-shirt that actually Ben and Siobhan sent me from the States, and I really like it. Um, so yeah, and I've got my horns, as you can see. So yeah, I hope it's very well. It's it's going on that theme, bordering on that theme. It's going on along that theme of Halloween, because we are approaching Halloween. So what has everyone been up to, and what are you going to get up to this weekend? Well, so on Tuesday, I started telling you the story of what we had done on the Sunday. Now, on so we went to O'Crackala, which is what I told you about, and I said to you, go and try those canapé cakes because they're gorgeous and creamy. They're absolutely lovely. I did a little TikTok video and I did an Instagram. Did I do an Instagram video, or no? I don't think I did do an Instagram, but I did do a YouTube short, so you can catch up on it on the YouTube short and on the TikTok. If you follow us on TikTok, or if you follow us if you follow the shorts, then you can catch those videos there. But we also went to what was the other place that we went to? I'm just trying to think now. Where did we go? We went to the canapé place. And then we went to ping pong. Now, not the game ping pong, you understand, but the actual food. So there is a place. We actually did a video on it before. So they're on the weekend they do an all you can eat. Now it's not a buffet. They cook it fresh and they bring it to your table, and it's only certain dim sums. And we went on a lazy Sunday, because that's what they call it, lazy Sunday, dim sum. And they have on a list, they have all the ones that have LS, which means lazy Sunday, and they're normally in the green circles. You can order, and you can order as much as you like. I'm wondering, did I mention this on the video before, actually? Um, but it's 29.95 per person. And if you want a bottle of bubbly, you can upgrade an extra £10, which is brilliant. And I believe it might be unlimited drinks and unlimited food for £40. Now, it didn't say this on the menu, but I feel sure I read it somewhere that if you wanted to have unlimited drinks and dim sum, it was £40. But um I can't remember where I read it, because it wasn't on the menu. It was just if you upgraded £10 that you could get the bottle of bubbly prosecco if you drink prosecco. There was that, and there was a lot more vegetarian stuff. Don't get me wrong, there were a few chicken dishes on there as well, but there was lots of vegetarians and lots of pescatarian. And There was only, I think there was one pork dish, which was a pork and prawn shumai, which I've got to say that pork and prawn shumai, like I've had shumai in a couple of places, and I don't really care for it, to be quite honest. As my bestie would say, I don't care for it. Um, but we had it, and I have to say, it's probably the best shumai I've tasted. It was really, really good. And if I wasn't full, I would have ordered more. It was so good. So there was that, and then there was what was the other one that I liked? We ordered the pork char siu bun. Now that was extra, so we had to pay extra for that. And Mark had the vegetarian one. He really liked the vegetarian one, and there's a little piece of paper on the bottom of the buns, and they're normally white. And what happened was the very first time that I went to ping pong with a friend, I went with a group of friends, work friends at the time, and I picked up this pork bun, and I really liked it. I thought, oh my god, this is so tasty. And then afterwards, later on, I kept feeling bits of paper around in my mouth, and I was just like, oh my God. Anyway, later on, I saw my friend peel off the paper that's at the bottom of the bun, and I was just like, oh my God, I feel like such a fool. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize there's paper. I was eating it, and I was thinking, God, there's paper. So now, actually, lots of people must have done it, because now there's a blue, they color paper blue. So now you can just, so now you know to peel off the blue paper. But before it was white, and it would properly stick to the bun. And you would have, it would be only if you knew that you needed to peel off the paper. Hi Thunder, how are you? I hope you're well. So yeah, so you just have to remember to peel off the piece of paper, and I didn't do that, so I was eating bits of paper. I was like, oh my God. um but yeah, so Mark had the vegetarian one. He really enjoyed that, and I can honestly say we also had this mushroom rice, and it was so nice. We ate so much, and I don't have a really big appetite. Mark has a bigger appetite than I do, but even he, towards the end, he ordered another set of vegetarian buns, and he goes, oh my God, this is just pure piggery. So he had that. uh but it just shows you, it's quite a good deal, really, I think, for 29.95. Now the thing is, you have to pay extra for your drinks. So I ordered, so Mark ordered water, and I ordered water. We had bottled water, and he likes sparkling, and I like still. So that was another £3.65 each. So we had that, another £3.65, plus I wanted the pork char siu bun, which wasn't included in the deal. So we had to pay extra for that, and I think that was something like 3.65 as well. So once I calculated everything, plus I didn't know whether it was going to be 12.5% or 15% uh, discretionary service charge on top. So I calculated it, and then I said to Mark, okay, so it's going to cost this much. And it was something like £73.20 or something like that. Anyway, I went off to the toilet, and when I came back, and Mark's the type of person, he doesn't always check the receipt. Like I'll check the receipt normally. If it's reasonable, then, and I think, oh yeah, that's roughly about how much it costs, I don't bother checking it. But if I think, oh, hang on a second, this seems a bit high, then I'll check it. So anyway, I went to the bathroom, came back, and he said, oh, when he looked at the bill, it was like 80 something pounds, and I was like, what? And then he realised that they had charged us double for a rice. Now then he questioned it. He said, "Oh, I thought the rice was actually included in the lazy dim sum." And then she looked at it. She goes, "Oh yeah, I'm really sorry." So she went back and she changed it, and it was 73.20, as I thought it would be. But it just shows you kind of need to really check these things. I'm good, thank you. How are you? I'm good. You're looking illuminating as usual. Thank you, Thunder. That's so kind. Thank you. I just thought, you know what? Today I'm going to put my little horns on. Well, I came downstairs to set up, and I actually forgot to get my ears. So I said to Mark, oh, if you're going upstairs, can you grab my ears and grab my nightgown, because I'd forgot to bring my nightgown down. just in case I got cold. And so yeah, so I just thought, you know what, let me put my little horns. So he brought down the horns and another one, but the other one is like a Halloween hat, and I thought I want to wear that closer to Halloween. So, but I think this is appropriate, the villainous horns. So yeah, I hope it fits in anyway. So yeah, so but I do recommend going to ping pong on a weekend. They do an all you can eat on Saturday as well, but they call it something else, and it's slightly different to the one on Sunday. And yeah, so we went to the one on Sunday. It's really good value for money. So if you like dim sum, and dim sum is almost like if you were going to a tapas. So it's lots of small dishes. um Glad to hear it. No worries, thank you. Whereabouts is ping pong? Well, they're all over London. The one that we went to was in near South Bank, so it was just behind where the market is, where the South Bank market is. So we went to that one, but there's also one in Covent Garden, which we've been to before, and there's also one near I don't know if you know One New Change. So in the city there is a shopping centre. So when I mean the city of London, I mean sort of like the St Paul's area. So you have St Paul's, you have Liverpool Street, you have Farringdon, you've got uh, Holborn and all that, and that side of London is more like the financial district, I guess, or business district. So they call that the City of London. So you get lots of businesses there and all of that. And before there was never anything around the city. The city was dull. There was nothing there. And then while I was working there, they decided to build a shopping centre. And I was just like, right, okay. It's not like a shopping centre like, your typical mall or anything like that, but they've got like quite a few shops there. So before these shops went into administration, unfortunately, you had things like Miss Selfridge, you had Topshop, you had Wallace, and all of those types of shops. But there's still a Next there, and there is like a Pandora. There's an Espresso. There's a H&M. There's an M&S. You've got what you call it, Ivy Asia. All of those types of sort of things, and little fancy restaurants and not so fancy, but fancy restaurants and not so fancy restaurants. But just round the corner, you also have a place called Ping Pong. You've also got Burger and Lobster around that side, and I want to say Gordon Ramsay has a restaurant there as well. And Jamie Oliver used to have a restaurant until, unfortunately, his restaurants went into administration. But yeah, you've got Gordon Ramsay restaurants there. I can't remember what it was called. I want to say, does he have a restaurant called Bread? I think. If he does, I think that's the one that's there, the bread one. If it's called Bread, they've also got a Bees now. Bees as in Beas, and they specialize in sort of like cakes and tea cakes. And they did an afternoon tea. I'm not sure if Bees is still there, but we went to Bees and we went to an afternoon tea. But I can't really recommend it because I didn't think it was. I thought it was okay. It's nice if you want a little experience, but it's not as good as some of the other afternoon teas that I've been to. But it's okay. It's not special, is what. It's not an experience. Like sometimes when you go to the other afternoon teas, it's an experience. And I didn't think that Bees, but it's nice if you're out with your friends and you want to go there and you think, oh, do you know what? Let's sit down. We'll have some sandwiches. We'll have some cakes. We'll have some tea. But it's okay. I can't remember how much it was. It was a very long time ago that I went. But I do highly, highly recommend Ivy Asia. It's so good. But sorry, I digress. Yeah, there's a ping pong there, but there's ping pongs all over. And yeah, they're very good, especially if you go for the the unlimited. But equally off their a la carte menu, if you're going with friends and you pick like 3 or 4 dishes each, it's really good value because you share. You just pretty much share. And I think when you go with a group of friends and you pick off the a la carte menu, and you're going to get like 3 or 4 dishes, it's do you know what I mean? You, like I said, you can all share, and it's better than the unlimited menu. But if you have a look at the unlimited menu and you like the items on the unlimited menu, then for sure it's good value for money and try it. But I also think that if there's 3 or 4 of you, you'd probably pay the same price ordering 3 or 4 dishes, because realistically you have to think about how much are you going to eat really. And if you eat off the unlimited menu, you're restricted to what you can eat off. But I've been to ping pong many times, so it didn't bother me to eat off the restricted menu. But if you haven't been before and you want to try a la carte and you see 2 or 3 dishes that you like, you might as well go for the 2 or 3 dishes that you like, and then you could get £30 worth, because it's 29.95. You might as well get £30 worth of different dishes that you like, rather than the if you've got a big appetite, then go for the unlimited. Like Mark's got quite a big appetite, so it makes sense to go for the unlimited, because then we can get 2 bowls of rice, and you can get 2 of everything that he wants. Do you know what I mean? But for me, my appetite's not that big. So I think for me, it's probably worth going for the a la carte menu, picking 2 or 3 dishes that I really like. One would be a rice dish. The other one would be the pork puffs, because the pork puffs are delicious. And the char siu pork bun. But also they do this duck spring rolls, and the duck spring rolls are really good. So if you like that sort of, if you like Pan Asian food, definitely go to ping pong. It's really good value for money. So what are we going to do this weekend? We haven't really got any plans per se, but I have seen a few like places that I want to go to. I don't want to reveal just too much, because I want to go to those places and I want to try them out. So yeah, that is the plan. But also, I my cousin has got an event, so but it's only for the afternoon, so I'm gonna go there. Ben's girlfriend Siobhan. Ben, as you know, is Mark's brother, and Siobhan is his girlfriend. She's gonna stay with us this weekend, because normally they go um back to their home on in the West Country on the weekends. But this weekend, Siobhan's going to be staying with us because she's working and stuff. So we might do something all together. So maybe I can get her to be on a video. I'm not sure, depending on if we're going to do something on the Saturday or the Sunday. I'm not sure yet. So we've got that to plan. But yeah, other than that, we don't. Got to do something with, like, go to my cousin's event, go, and my nephew is home for the weekend, so that's really nice. And was it yesterday? What day were we yesterday? Thursday, yeah. So yesterday he came and surprised. We didn't know he was coming home for the weekend, so it was really nice. And he just knocked on the door, and I was like, oh, I said to Mark, oh, don't bother answering it, because it's probably somebody, just trying to sell rubbish or whatever. And Mark went to the door, and he opened the door, and it was my nephew, or our nephew. And I was just, oh my God. And I gave him a big hug, and he came down. Do you know, I suppose, because do you know what I worry about as children get older and stuff like that? I often wonder, um, especially with our nephews, like when they were little, I always gave them lots of hugs and kisses and picked them up all the time, because it was going to come to a point where I wouldn't, first of all, I wouldn't be able to pick them up because they would get too heavy. But I thought there was going to come a time when they wouldn't let me, kiss or cuddle them. Do you know what I mean? Because get on, blah, blah, blah. But do you know what? They have never done that. They welcome the hugs, they welcome the kisses, they welcome, do you know what I mean? And it's just so nice to sort of like spend time with your family, and especially because they're teenagers, and teenagers get to that age and they don't want you to hug them and stuff like that. But I've got to be honest, my nephews are totally different. They're not like that at all. So it was just so nice. And it's just nice to hear like how he's getting on, what he's doing, where he's going, and all of that. Of course, grandma took him out shopping and spoiled him. and spoilt him. And then he came here. Well, he came here first before he went to see grandma, which is my mom. And we spoilt him a bit here, sort of like food, drinks, snacks, all of that type of stuff. And we were sitting down having a chat. And it's just so nice to see how he's sort of like getting on and stuff. So it was just really nice. Um, so yeah, so that, and then I was chatting to my mum for a bit. We were talking about maybe going for breakfast, but I think we've tabled that, and we might do that in a couple of weeks. We might do breakfast in a couple of weeks, but yeah, I think that's probably the catch up really. I've been doing sort of sending out emails, trying to sort things out, and all of that. Mark's been working very hard, as usual. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I've been cooking, and do you know what? I don't really enjoy cooking. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't mind it. I'll do it, but I don't have the same love for cooking as maybe as I do for baking. So don't get me wrong, I like to eat my cooking and things like that. So I think, oh, do you know what? I really fancy such and such, and I'll go and cook it. But when I just think, oh, now I've got to prepare all the ingredients. I suppose sometimes I feel like that with baking maybe as well. Like, you've got to prepare all your ingredients. I don't weigh them out for cooking because that is just done for me by eye. But how does everyone else feel about cooking? Do you enjoy it? Is it something that you like? Like Alicia, she quite likes cooking. She doesn't mind. She quite likes it. And my cousin also, she quite likes it as well. But I'm not really. I I've always cooked and stuff like that. There hasn't really been a time where I haven't cooked, I guess. But I've never really had a passion for it, I guess. I like to go out to eat. I like going out to eat. I like heat. I like going to sort of mid restaurants. So not the super expensive, but not the super cheap. I don't mind going to cheap restaurants, by the way, because I do go quite often. But um, I like to go to the mid, and I suppose what I would call mid range would be like, I don't know, Prezzo, Zzz's, Ask, all these sort of like Italian under the same umbrella, I guess. Um, Pizza Express, maybe. Um, uh, and then sort of just above that, but still mid range, I would have said places like Inamo. Anything that's sort of like around £30, I guess, I would call midway restaurant. So anything that will cost you about 30 quid. And I think anything more than that, so when you're getting to your 40 and your £50, I'm thinking that's more, not high end, because your high end sometimes costs you more than that, but higher. And then you get your other ones that are a little bit lower. Places that I would say like Nando's, or do you know what I mean? Those are sorts of the lower. But I tell you now, the sort of like lower end restaurants, or the lower end sort of like fast foods and stuff like that, are getting more expensive. Has anybody noticed that things are getting more expensive? Obviously life is getting more expensive, but I was just like, oh, you know you go into these restaurants, you might go to Nando's, and where a meal might have cost you sort of like £10 is now sort of like 15, £16, and you're just like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. Or if you go to a burger place, like I told you, like I like the Frenchie in South Bank, but the burger's £12. It's not cheap, and it's a burger. And now I know duck is expensive. It's not like your normal beef burger, but even so, even when you go and sit in restaurants, a burger now will set you back 11 or £12. And I just remember back in the day when things like salads and things like burgers were not that expensive. And I remember going to Planet Hollywood, which was the first real sort of American. Don't get me wrong, you had TGI Fridays and you had Hard Rock Cafe, but Planet Hollywood was that named restaurant. It was owned by Sylvester Stallone, what's his name, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Bruce Willis, right? So that was your first sort of like big sort of restaurant, I guess. And I remember going there, And like people going, oh my god, it's like £15 for a hamburger, and then some people like, oh my god, it's £10 for a salad, but the salad is huge, and you just think to yourself, like, for a bit of leaves and all of that, which is normally £2 or £3, and then if you added pancetta or something like that, or bits of chicken or whatever, it's not going to cost you really more than sort of like £5 really to make a huge salad. And then you know they're doubling it, and you just think to yourself, wow, 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 wow. And then after that, I remember going to the Rainforest Cafe. I mean, I think it still exists in Leicester Square, and I remember going to it, and I went to it a couple of times, and I just thought, I didn't think it was all like, I didn't think it was all that kind of thing. I mean, I don't know if any of you guys have been. I mean, Planet Hollywood now is not owned by Bruce Willis and all that. It's under different under a different sort of management. So I don't know who is dealing with it now. But yeah, I just think, like, even to go out to eat is so pricey these days. Even to get takeaway, and the takeaway is just as expensive as if you were going into the restaurant. So it's just crazy prices. So I think, yeah, things are really going up. What does everybody else think? Do you guys think that life is becoming more expensive? Do you go out to eat, or do you buy pastries, or do you buy Greg's or whatever? Has anybody noticed if Greg's has gone up? Here comes Mark. Mark is about to join us and show you some of the purchases that I made.
Hello! Oh, what a day. Oh, Thunder.
Yes, Thunder's on.
How are you? You well? How's everybody doing? Oh, apologies. So we're a bit late today. Well, I'm a bit late today. I was working till late. So, hello.
So Mark's going to show you the purchases that I made.
Right. So this is just a couple of them. So we're keeping in with the Halloween theme. Our first little purchase, and I've kept this in as is. So when they arrive, it's just to show you that does open, but I've left the sellotape on there. So it's the little Mickey heads. Now with this, as I'm just going to pull off the tag there. It's actually, if you can see the back of there, you can put a candle in there. Now it is designed to do that. So when you have the candle, which you'll put in the base there, it will light up the front as well. So I'm sure what we'll have to do, I'll have to get a candle next time.
Yeah.
And show how it works.
But if you just see, sorry, I just wanted to point out that if you see, there's a little mold where you sit the bit on top, so it's a little bit raised. Although I thought it should be sunken in, really.
No.
Raised.
You know why that is? Because with tea tree lights,
yeah,
they are designed to be balanced that way. They've got a slight little divot in the top. Well, I know American ones do. So I don't know about the UK ones. Correct me if I'm wrong, our American viewers, but I'm pretty sure that's why it's got a little bump there. But yeah, so this is the Halloween. This is the votive holder bourgeois. What's that?
Yeah, bourgeois. Yeah,
that
bourgeois.
Portavales. There you go. So that's it. So that's our little thing for Halloween. Now we've also got another one here. How much is that? Can you remember?
I want to say that one was £18.
There we are. Now, some of these may come down in price as, of course, Halloween comes.
They have come down. Some of them have come down in price, which is annoying.
So there you go. If you're watching this on catching it now, you'll be able to. You may be able to get these. This is from the Disney website. Of course, it's from the UK Disney store. But like I said, you might be able. It looks like that's my head. Look, I did that from there. That's pretty cool. So I talk like this. But you may be able to get this on, I think it's 20% off some of these. I'm not sure this one is 20%.
I think it might even be up to 70%
off. Do you want to check your phone? Check your phone while I'm doing the bits. So Kay's going to check the prices for you, what they are now. But there we are. That's our first Halloween little purchase there. So you can put your candle in there and it will glow there. Just remember, always be careful with candles. Because they can obviously burn up. But it's safer in there purely because it's ceramic. Okay, and just to show you, there you go, ceramic. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to try not to crush that. The second candle holder we had,
it's 20% off when you spend £70 or more.
There you go. Wish you did. Did you get 20% off?
No, because they weren't doing the 20% off at that time.
We were just waited.
I know. They're doing the Christmas shop though at the moment.
So now this has got a little bit of a story to it. This is the second one, the candle holder. Now that isn't cracked. That's actually the label to it, which I'll just show you there, just to prove. That's the label. It's attached to the front there. What you'll see from as well, exactly the same. If you look at the top, that's taped down. This top does come off. I haven't taken it off yet, but it does come off. And again, from the back, you can put a candle in the back there, and it will glow at the front. That's really cool. This is not like a traditional Disney thing. This was actually fact. This did remind me again. Look, it looks like my head. This reminded. Do you know what this reminds me of?
Go on.
Who's the headless horseman in Sleepy Hollow?
Yeah.
It reminds me of Sleepy Hollow. That's why. But I really like that. So that's our two little purchases.
Yeah, that one's £28.
That's 28.
And the other one is 18. And they're both in the 20% off when you spend £70.
So if you spend £70 or more, you get 20% off. That's quite easy to do in the Disney store.
So easy to do. So I don't know if you want to show them the pillow behind you.
Oh, so the other one as well. You can see our little pillow. Now this, I think this was about 30, wasn't it?
I believe that was £28 as well, but I'm just going to double check.
So this is the haunted.
Yeah, that's 20%. That's £28, and also 20% off when you spend £70.
There we go. So this is the Haunted Mansion pillow. If anyone's into the Haunted Mansion, you'll see the three symbols there, which are going, especially if you're on the ride, the Haunted Mansion ride, you'll see those three symbols all the way through it. And the wallpaper for the Haunted Mansion is this.
Yeah.
Which I love. I don't know why. You can get this in shirts.
It's not all. It's not. They actually got that lined paper as well, but this is only part of. Yeah.
Okay, so you can actually get this in shirts and I believe t-shirts as well. I really do want to get a shirt with that pattern, and I love that pattern. But if you like the Haunted Mansion, so that's a Haunted Mansion cushion, which I'm just going to put right behind me there.
Now the other piece that I got you, which is on the table over there.
I'll have to grab that in a second actually, because it's over there.
Yeah.
I will. Let me do that now. You hold that for a sec, so you can see. So that's those bits there. Now they are quite small. As you can see, I can hold them on my hand. I showed you the other one, which we had last week. I'll just put that there. And it was a lot bigger. But I'm just going to move and get this one. Now, you guys might be wondering, why did we get this? But we just got it for a little bit of fun. Let me move this to here.
I bought this for Mark.
So again, this is the
Madame Leota.
Madame Leota Haunted Mansion. Now, as you can see here, it works better if we've got the lights off, but it's the crystal ball that you would see in the Haunted Mansion. If I press the button here.
Serpents and spiders, tail of a rat, call in the spirits wherever they're at.
So it actually lights up as well. Now, if I had the light off, you would actually see it a lot better.
Yeah.
This one is also on the 25%. Is that right? Or
This is 25% off. So
oh no!
I paid £30 for this, and it's actually now on at £22.50. But the problem is, what I feel is sometimes you have to buy these things quickly, otherwise they get sold out.
Oh no! It says here if you add water, it does a fog effect.
Oh wow!
Now I have not tried that actually. Look at that.
Wow. Okay.
So I don't know how that's going to work. Again. Oh, I see. So yeah, she steams up if you put water in there.
Wow.
With water, yeah, add water for fog effect. Now, just to let you know, again, it's still going. Oh, there, it stopped. Excuse me.
Bless him.
So it's still, but there you are. So that's for the Madame Leota. If you get them now, it's 25% off. We didn't, so we paid full price. So Disney, if you're watching, look how good we've been. There we are.
So £22.50. So there we go.
£22.50 with the effect thickwear. We could always get another one and send this back. There we are. So I shall let that sit there.
Well, don't let it drop.
No.
I think just put it on the corner, because if you move or whatever, it fall. Just pop it on the floor.
I'll put it there. So I pressed it by mistake, so she's going to go on for a little bit.
Yeah.
But, let me put this down here.
So those were our little purchases. I also bought a headband, which is part of the
50th anniversary.
Yeah, part of 50th anniversary, but that's upstairs at the moment. But yeah, those were our few little purchases. I quite liked all of them actually. Otherwise, I wouldn't have purchased
Yeah.
any of them.
There we are. So there we are. We thought that would interest you. It may not. We don't know. But that was from the Disney store. We wanted, and you can hear
Yeah,
she's still talking.
she is still talking.
So just bear that in mind. If you press that, it will go on. I might just put that in someone's room and just press it and let it go, and they can listen to it. But I didn't realise it's got fog effect, so I shall take that out and try it.
Yeah, I didn't realise it had.
They must boil the water. I wonder how they.
Well, it must have to boil the water of some sort. Yeah, I guess I don't know how comfortable I feel adding water to it because, like, what if it breaks or whatever?
No,
so
we'll try it. I think we'll try it. But there you go. I probably should turn the light off to show you. But anyway, there is that. So that was our Disney purchases.
Yeah, that was that. So I was saying we don't really have anything planned this weekend, but of course Siobhan's staying with us.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, like, what we could do or what we would do on either it be a Saturday or a Sunday, and what we would sort of do. But I'm thinking we would go to Central London, try out a few special places that I have a list of that I would like to try, some new places.
We do need to do some new places as well. So we did do, you may have seen from our very short that we did go to Old Crackerland.
Yeah.
But we must put the video up.
Yes,
We must
I must put the video up. And I was telling them that we also went to ping pong.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's dim sum, not actually ping pong.
Yeah, so it's dim sum. So we did do the dim sum it was at ping pong, but we did
Yeah, but it's what I'm saying is it's not ping pong.
No. Yeah, it's actually dim sum. It's called ping pong.
It's called ping pong, but you're not playing a game of ping pong.
So Thunder said, glad to hear. No, whereabouts is ping pong? So I take it you've already responded.
Yeah, I've already.
So there are several of them in London. The one we did go to was the one that was in South Bank, which is on the back end. If you look at our video again when we did the Frenchie, which is the duck burger, you will see it's right opposite that. We might actually have been in shot. I'll have to rewatch that video, but it could have been in shot. You can see ping pong from the back there. But that's where we went as well, which is quite nice. If you like all you can eat, and it is all you can eat, but just be wary that for the ping pong, it's not every single dish. It's only the ones that's on the menu. And that was the thing that not irritated me a little bit, but I just thought to myself, they had so much on this menu. Yeah. And your selection is this. It's tiny little menus. The majority of it was vegetarian on offer.
Vegetarian
apart from the pork and the chicken.
Fish.
Yeah. Apart from the pork, chicken and fish. That was it.
Yeah. So a lot of it was vegetarian and a lot of it was pescatarian. So you could eat. It was more towards you, really. I felt like with the ping pong, I was getting annoyed thinking they've taken this off the menu, they've taken that off the menu. Why?
But yeah, it was good. So I would go there again.
Yeah.
I would definitely go there again.
You had 2 rices.
I did have 2 rices.
What was your favourite?
The favourite bit for me was probably the rice, actually. I would have.
Really? More than the vegetarian bun?
So I'm not a big fan of rice, so for that rice was so good.
Yeah.
The vegetarian bun, probably the vegetarian bun, the steamed bun was the best, but closely followed by the rice. Don't get me wrong, the fish dishes are good. The one I think would say is that the little, what do you call them, the parcels, what's the best word, the dim sum as well, is in these sort of, how would you describe it? They look like very miniature Cornish pasties.
Well, the steamed ones.
Yeah. But of course, they're very gelatinous.
Yeah.
And it's very much like having that's. Do you know what? It's the texture that puts me off of that.
Right.
It's not. I love the food and I love eating it, but when I eat it, it's so rubbery.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. I know that sounds really weird, but it kind of makes you think. I don't like the texture, but the food tastes delicious. So it is really, really good. I would recommend going to ping pong if you guys are interested. So. The other thing is, if you do have any ideas, please keep putting them in the chat. We do love your suggestions and we always look out for them as well. So if there's anything that you would suggest or think we should go to, do put it in the chat. We will have a look at it. We will definitely have a look at it. If you come up with some really, really good ideas. So it's something we will definitely have a look at. We can't promise we can do all of them, but we will definitely think about it.
I've got a whole list because Mark's going, give your ideas, and I've got a list of ideas, and I'm thinking, I doubt we're going to get to those ideas.
Well, no, we might. Actual fact, we will look. We do look at the ideas, and like I said,
but we still haven't been to Bone Daddies yet.
No,
there's quite a few suggestions that we haven't done yet.
No, we will. Like I said, we will try and get to them.
Yeah. If you re-put them in as well, because I think we've forgotten some of them, but I just remember Bone Daddies because they're ramens, and I know you love ramen.
Oh, I do like a ramen. I
Yeah.
do like a ramen. Well, we'll look to do that this weekend, I think, at some point. It's going to pour down this weekend, though.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's supposed to be raining all weekend.
Oh no, I don't like it when it's raining.
Well, there you go, see.
Don't like it when it's raining. So I suppose I wanted to ask, I guess, because we were talking about movies and we were talking about sort of like series and things like that. What is it that you look for it to be a good movie or a good series?
Oh,
What are the ingredients?
Right, for me, so I think it's got to be, and this is my personal taste.
Yeah.
So I look at the actors.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. Certain actors, and by that as well, I'm not saying, I know this sounds really bad, but it's not actors that will make me encouraged to watch it. There's actors that if I see they're in it, I won't watch it.
Okay.
There's certain actors I just won't watch. And it's just I don't like their acting style more than anything. They're good actors, but I don't like their acting style. But if there's some actors in it, I will definitely go for it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one. I'll look at the genre. Is another one for me. So certain genres, I think I could watch that. Certain genres will put me off.
And even if they've got your favourite actor in it.
So you're asking me, would the actor trump the genre?
Yeah.
I don't know. I look at the combination of all of them. So certain things will just put me off. If it's I'll talk about that in a minute. What would put me off? And then so if it's a film or a series, and I would then look at what would I look at then? Yeah, those would be the two main things I think, and then the storyline.
Right.
And I'd always read this. I know what you're like. You won't read the storyline. You'll look at wrestling, but I'll look at the storyline.
I like to watch a trailer, right? And I used to like to watch trailers back in the day, but I feel like in the past sort of, I don't know, maybe in the past sort of almost 10 years, I guess, they're showing all of the highlights of the film. And I want to enjoy the film for what it is. I don't want to know like when you're watching, so on TikTok, you have 15 seconds, right? 15 seconds, 60 seconds, or 3 minutes. Now, I don't want to know the whole plot of a movie in 15 seconds. That does not interest me.
No.
I want to know a brief sort of I want something to entice me to go and see a movie. And it entices me to go and see the movie. I don't want something that is going to show me what the movie is about in 15 seconds.
Well, see, now that's different. So for me, like I said, the acting, the genre, the plot, and then the fourth thing for me, but it's not the big be or end all, is reviews.
Yeah.
So the reviews may sway it. So I've got to be honest. If it looks good, but the reviews absolutely diss it, I'll probably give it a miss.
Yeah.
But so is there any? Let's go for actors. Is there any actor? Start with that would definitely make you go and watch it. If you saw an actor in it, you think, oh, it's him or her in it, I will watch it. And the same for you guys. Is there an actor? Is there an actor in a film that first of all would make you go, yes, I am going for that because they are in it?
No, I was about to say Christian Bale because I really like his style of acting. However, when he played the machinist, I had no interest in going to see that.
Well, no, so that's different. But yeah, go on.
No, but it shows you that just because an actor is in it does not mean I will go and watch it.
Okay.
So it has to be a film that I'm interested in. So when they did Twilight, they showed something, and I can't remember what it was that made me want to go and see it. But I said, "Oh, I really want to go see that." And then I said, it was actually coming out of the cinema, but it was in one cinema or a couple of cinemas. So I said to Evelyn, "Oh, can we go and see this before it leaves?" And she said, "Yeah, sure." So we went to see it, Twilight, and I was mesmerized. I really enjoyed it. And as we were leaving, going up the stairs, she goes, "Oh, yeah, it's sort of closely to the book." And I went, "What? There's a book?" And then I went, I think it was the next day or the day after, and I bought all of the books. And I think at that time, the third one had just come out. so the third one had just come out. So I bought them all. I bought all three, and during Christmas and New Year, I read all three. That's the fastest. I stayed up till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh yeah, you said
reading
Oh yeah,
all
you
three
said.
books.
This is before Kelly and I got together. So
Yeah.
you read all 3 books.
All 3 books in the space of a week.
No, go on.
And it's the fastest I've ever read a book. Now again, there are actors, and I like their style of acting. I think Timothy Chalamet is a really good actor, but again, there are loads of films that he's been in that I just wouldn't watch.
Yes. So I think going back to the actors bit as well, there are certain actors that I would definitely watch. So someone like Bryan Cranston, I don't know why, Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
I would really go for someone like that as
Yeah.
well. I mean, there's loads of key actors. I can't just name 1 or 2.
Yeah, Bryan Cranston, I would go watch. Yeah.
Kristen Bell would be one I would watch.
Yeah.
There's so many. I can't name them all now. But if I watch them, I think yes, you're in it. I know you. I would give it a watch.
Yeah.
There's certain actors that would just put me off. If I saw them in it, I thought, oh no, not them. They're really annoying. I used to dislike Jim Carrey, but I don't mind him so much now with some of the stuff he's seen as well. I'm not a big fan of. I'm trying to think now. This is always difficult as well because I'll flick through and I go, oh, I don't know, no, not with them in it. Oh no.
Yeah.
So there's certain ones I won't do, not because they're rubbish actors per se, but I just don't take to them as actors.
I quite like Tom Holland. I think he's quite a good actor, and I do like Zendaya. I think she's a good actress.
Right. So plots. Is there any plot that would put you off? So any genre is all right. Is there a genre, sorry, that would put you off?
Not so much genre, but I'm not really into the zombie thing
Well,
like
that's what,
you are.
Well, there you are.
Yeah.
So that's the thing you would.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah. So
is that a genre though?
yeah,
or?
Horror is more horror. So horror you wouldn't watch.
Yeah.
So horror wouldn't put me off. I don't.
I would watch a zombie movie though. It wouldn't just because it comes under horror. It's not something that I wouldn't watch.
Right.
If that makes sense.
So there's that. Would you watch a historical film?
It depends on what type. Like I like the Musketeers.
All right. So
and
that's all right. So maybe genre is too broad.
Yeah.
So
exactly. Yeah.
What would put me off? I don't think I wouldn't. I'm not into. I love history things as well, but if it's history for dramatization, like the Musketeer, that would just not interest me.
So, like what? Give me an example.
So I would. What I would like or not like.
That history. What history?
Oh, so a history thing. So I'm just trying to think.
What history film?
There was a film. Yeah, these I'm going to name them. You're not going to know. So Downfall.
No,
that's what.
What
I'm
was
saying.
It about though?
It
doesn't mean just because I don't know doesn't mean that they don't know.
So basically, something like that is Adolf Hitler's last few weeks. That was really good. That's a German film. So stuff like that. So I quite like that. I know a bit geeky, but that's what I like. I do like thrillers, but they have to be certain kinds of thrillers. So the things that would put me off, anything with like a moral message in it, I just think to myself, oh look, I don't need to. I'm a man of 7 years. I don't need to have that moral message. I wouldn't. That would put me off.
Okay.
Any teenage vampire thing would just not interest me at all.
Right.
Really, really put me off. What else would put me off? Rom-coms would just put me completely off. Because they've just all been done to death. I know I could predict the plot before I watched it. Right. I know exactly what would happen. What else would I not like? Any Adam Sandler type comedy would not entertain me at all.
I don't like his films, but there are a couple that I do like. I liked the Pixar one, where it was like 80s games. I quite liked that one.
That was okay.
And then there was one other one that I thought was okay. But yeah, I'm not a lover of Adam Sandler. I don't know how he got as popular as he did with regards to films.
That would put me off. And then so general plot lines as well that would really put me off is, like I say, is that ones that have been done to death as well. So if a plot comes out, another film, a film that comes out which has been done so many times before. So I'll give you an example. What was that film? It's got off my head now.
For me, it's a post-apocalyptic films.
Oh, see, I love those.
But they've been done to death.
No, but I like them. I like that type of thing.
They're like forever. Oh yeah, post-apocalyptic. People living, for some reason, all sort of humanity's gone out of them, and they just kill, and it doesn't. That's just ridiculous.
So for you guys, it's what? Is there a film? Is there a classification you choose when you watch a film? And what I mean by that is, do you pick your film that you watch by actors? Do you pick it by genre, or do you pick it by type? Is there a particular movie plot that you would like to follow, or if you see that plot, it puts you off, you don't want to watch it? Or lastly, are you determined by reviews? If you see a film that's got really poor reviews, would that put you off, or do you not read reviews at all?
We've been to see a couple of films, and you've read the reviews, and the reviews have been rubbish. But then when you've gone to see it, you actually thought it's not as bad as those reviews. Now, I don't read reviews, and you will ask me, like, what did you think? And I'd say, oh, yeah, I didn't think it was too bad. And you go, yeah, I read the reviews and it was rubbish, but I didn't think it was too bad. And so I don't like to be dictated to by someone else's point of view.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Someone else's opinion before I formed my own.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to form my own opinion first, and then I might read reviews on it. If the film really inspired me and was a really good film, I will go back and read what people thought about it and all that. But it has to really, I have to really have enjoyed that film to do that. I wouldn't, after I've seen a film, it would not bother me to go and read reviews on it or anything. It just doesn't. It's a nothing. But if I really enjoyed that film, that would make me read a review on it.
Oh, okay.
But only if the film was really good.
So you're saying then you'd have to watch the film before you read the review?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the whole point of the review is just that.
Yeah, but the whole point of the review is someone else's opinion.
Yeah.
And I don't want someone else's opinion to mar my own opinion before I've seen something.
But would it though? Would you find that review actually? So let me ask you.
No,
this.
it wouldn't. But
if you hang on, if you read a review,
right,
would you allow that to influence your opinion?
No. What I mean to say is, when you read someone else's review, they are going in that review. It will tell you the plot of the film, what they thought of this plot, what they thought of the twist, and all of this. That's the reason why I wouldn't read a review. But also, you are right, because I'm not easily influenced like that, to be fair. I'm not easily influenced by someone else's point of view. But what I don't want to know is, I don't want to know I don't want to know about the film, about the plot twist. Not unless if it's a horror and it's something that I'm thinking, oh, now there was a horror ages ago. Was it called Mama? And it was about these two girls who were being haunted.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, and
does anybody else know that one?
Yeah, it was quite a thingy one, and it flashed up on the screen. I think, oh, but I didn't want to watch it, but I read the review of it, and even the review scared me, right? And it told you the plot of the film and all of this, and I said, no, this is not for me. This is not for me. So I didn't bother. I don't like horrors anyway, so I wouldn't have watched it anyway. But I did. I think that was one of the ones that I read the review. And if I don't understand a film, like if I come out the cinema and go, what? Then I will read the review on it. All right.
So here's one now. So this is for Kelly and for everybody as well. Has there ever been a review that's been a film that's ever been slated, but you thought was really, really good, or vice versa? Has there ever been a film that has been absolutely lauded, but you have thought is rubbish? So do you know what as well? I'm gonna be honest, right? So I'll go through time. There's one film that everybody absolutely raved about, and I felt bad because I watched it and I just thought I didn't like it. So Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, for anybody that's watched that, had absolute plaudits for it. They said how brilliant a film it was, what amazing it was.
Yeah.
And I watched it and I thought, don't get it, it's lovely and graceful and what
have you. But that's what they're talking about.
But what was funny was at the back, I could hear someone turn to his, as a woman turn to her husband and say, "Oh, is this crap? People flying in the air." And I thought that was really funny.
But the thing is, I was actually brought up on martial arts films and stuff like that.
No. Stick to the question.
Yeah.
So, has there ever been a film that, like I said, that you've actually there's been absolutely panned that you've liked, or that you've been absolutely lauded and you thought was rubbish?
There has been, but I can't. I remember us going to see one, and it had been panned, and we both thought it wasn't that bad, and I can't remember what film it was.
So I can go to it for Telly's. Remind Kelly. Now, Blade Runner is one of the most lauded films ever created. It's always in the top 10 of lists of films. It's in. I've got I will show you guys in a minute, but I've got a book called 1,000 Movies You Must See Before You Die, and that's up there in the top 20. Blade Runner. Now, when I watched it with Kelly, I was watching it and pointing out all the bits, saying, "Oh, look, this is so good. Look at the film noir. Look at the effects." Kelly, go on. I'll let you tell you.
The problem is, it's not that right. I didn't enjoy it, but I think if I had watched it back in the day, I probably would have enjoyed it.
But does it have to be back in the day? I've seen films that have been done in the 60s, 70s. I do get your point.
Well, I showed you what do you call it? John Carpenter's what do you call it? Big Trouble in Little China. And you didn't enjoy it.
But then that's not exactly a lauded film. It's not something that everyone says how.
But it's one of those. It's like Warriors, or it's one of those cult films that people love. It's one of those films that will always, things like The Golden Child, things like Big Trouble in Little China, things like that. They will always be around because they are nostalgic. People enjoyed them in the 80s and all of that type of stuff. Mannequin, all of those films.
So another one for me, more recent. I'll do a more recent one when I go back to an older one. So the more recent one for me was all the new Jurassic Park films.
All right.
I thought they were terrible. I thought they were. Now, to be fair, they haven't really been lauded. They've been said that people said they're good and stuff like this, but I thought they were rubbish. And the reason I thought they were rubbish is the trouble is with the Jurassic Park films is you can't do anything with them. You can't. And what I mean by that is if you think about the Jurassic Park film, okay, so you've got, all you can do is you've got a dangerous dinosaur in a park, right? And you've got all the public down there. And the plot line they can't get away from is that the dinosaur escapes, causes havoc, and and it gets free. And they can't get away from that storyline. No matter what they do, they have to do that storyline. And that is the same storyline. Sorry, I know I'm ruining it, but they're all the same. They're all the same. Park, hang on, dangerous dinosaur, it escapes, causes havoc. And they're all that story. And they cannot think of a different storyline. Now, you'd think they would, but they can't.
Yeah, but it's not about it's about the morals, isn't it? The sort of thing that you don't like. And the moral is, as Jeff Goldblum says in the film, in the first one, dinosaurs had their time and nature chose them, selected them for extinction.
Yeah.
And so it's about man it's about man as it is now, trying to create things or trying to do things that is against nature.
Yeah, I get that, but that's not the plot. So that's the message.
That's the moral.
No, that's the message behind it, but that's not the plot. So my point is they cannot get away from the plot.
Right, but what I'm saying is the plot is now that they've released it, and it's very much like Planet of the Apes. It's pretty much the same story of Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, it's kind of, but I do think so. Basically, what the point I'm making is all of the Jurassic Park films have that plot. They cannot get away from that plot. The plot is they've got a load of dinosaurs or one big dinosaur, whatever it is, in a cage where the public go and see it. The dinosaur escapes and causes havoc, and they cannot get away from that plot.
I agree, but disagree.
Where do you disagree?
So the first film is about the park, right? Yeah. And they're going to open the park. The park never opens.
No.
That's that story over. The park never opens.
Right, but dinosaur is there. Dinosaur is
right, but what then? As the later films go on, the park does open.
But this plot is the same. Dinosaur is there.
Right.
Dinosaur escapes.
But now, as in Planet of the Apes, they've now escaped and they are breeding and living life.
But now I've not seen the new one, but I'm assuming it's dinosaur escape.
Right, but no, because the girl lets them. Spoiler alert: the girl lets them free.
All right. Well, we'll have to look at the other one, but I'm guessing it's the same. But what would have so if anyone can think of, there you go, there's a challenge for you. What plot difference could you do to help out Steven Spielberg for a Jurassic Park set if you're interested in Jurassic Park? I thought that they should have done that yonks ago. After the second or the third one, they should have created this whole world where the dinosaurs attacking humans or something like that. Just something different, rather than dangerous dinosaur in a cage, it escapes, causes havoc.
I mean, going back to the thing of what makes a good film, I think what makes a good film, obviously, is going to be the writing, the director, and the actors.
But we're still discussing ones that you thought were good and ones were bad. So the other one I was going to say that always lauded, which I have never. This is an older one, but I have never ever got. I've watched it a couple of times, not because I think it's good, but I only watched it again and again to thought I must be missing something here, and that's Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh,
everyone at my school, and this is how long ago it was.
Yeah.
Tanika, hi.
Hey, Tanika.
So good to catch you. How are you? So we're having a little lovely ears, Kelly.
Oh, thank you, my little horns.
We were having a little discussion about films. So love to get your input. So our discussion is there a film that got absolutely hammered by the critics and by the public, but you actually thought was quite good, and vice versa? Is there a film that we got absolutely praised and lauded and said how brilliant it was, but you just didn't get it? You watched it and you thought, I'm missing something here. So I've had several of them. Mine was all the Jurassic Park films where they said it was good and I thought was rubbish. Ferris Bueller's Day Off was people said was brilliant.
Did you think the first Jurassic Park film was rubbish?
The first one was okay, but again, it's the same thing. I thought the first one was okay, and I thought, well, this is it. You can go somewhere here. You've released all the dinosaurs and do another plot. But for the rest of them, they just kept going back to that plot. I thought, let me guess, you got a dinosaur in a cage. All right. Let me guess. Alicia, hello.
Hey, Leash.
Let me guess, you've got a dinosaur. Right, it's going to escape. Right, now it's going to cause havoc. Right, now you're going to somehow get it back in the cage. Right. So, and it's all the same. Tanika said, first to mind was Gemini Man. I was so excited when the trailer came out, but I didn't enjoy the film.
Oh, that was with Will Smith.
Will Smith, yeah. All the good parts were in the trailer. Well, that's true.
What did I say earlier?
Don't watch. Kelly doesn't watch the trailers.
I don't like watching trailers. The thing is with me and a film, right? I like watching trailers. However, in the last sort of, I would say probably 10 years, they're showing everything in a 15 or 30-second trailer. And I'm thinking, I want to be enticed to watch the film, not know what the freaking film's about. And yeah, I mean, Gemini Man to me was only okay. It was similar to Looper. Have you seen Looper with Bruce Willis and what's his name?
Oh, I haven't seen Looper.
Levitt, whatever his name is.
I know who you mean. No, I know what you mean. The other thing is as well, funny enough, talking of it, I had a friend of mine who hates the Star Wars films. Now, the Star Wars films have always been accoladed. People love them. And he turns to me and goes, he's from Manchester. I can't do a Manchester accent very well. He always turns to me and goes, Mark, I don't get it. They're just Muppets in space. That's what he used to say to me. He just didn't get why Star Wars was so popular. He just couldn't stand the films.
But again, I feel like Star Wars is of the time. And if you watch Star Wars now, like the original ones, the original 3, would somebody enjoy it as much as we did back then?
Well, you say that, but apparently I read somewhere the average American has watched Star Wars at least 4 times. So that's average across the whole population. So that includes people that have never watched it. So you're looking at people that have watched it at least 20 to 30 times to make up that average.
Okay, so people in the States. What about our nephews and their friends?
We'd have to ask them. I don't know. That's a generalization.
Right. Yeah, that's a generalization. But what I'm saying is, like I watched Blade. So Mark grew up watching Blade Runner. He thought it was the bee's knees. I watched it about more than 7 years ago now, but it's a really old film, and I just thought, what? It was just rubbish.
It's not rubbish.
It's a little bit like Inception.
See, I quite liked Inception.
Right.
But you see, I like those slower paced movies. But you know what? Actually, I've got to say, one of the things with actors as well, there's some actors that, and I've got to say, I'm not a big fan of Will Smith as an actor.
Yeah.
I just don't. The only film I've liked his, and I thought he was really good in, was
Legend.
I Am Legend.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really, I thought he was excellent in that. He played a really good character. But the rest of them, things like Hancock, I couldn't stand. I thought that was terrible.
Yeah. I quite liked Hancock. I liked Hancock. I didn't mind Hitch. I didn't mind Men in Black. I liked. I quite liked Bad Boys.
So who is your favourite actor? Says Tanika. Now, this is funny. This is what we were having as our discussion. When you go to pick a film or a series, is there anything that just makes your deciding factor? And I was saying, for me, it would be the actor will be part in it, but not the main deciding factor. But the plot and the genre are big factors for me. So if it's one of these things, it's like a teenage vampire thing, I'll forget it. I'm just not even interested. It doesn't matter who's in it. But in terms of my favorite actor, who's your favorite actor? That's really difficult. I couldn't give you a top one, but I could give you a top 10.
I think I'm like you in the sense that I don't think I could pick one actor. However, one that does jump to mind, which is who I mentioned earlier, not so much now, but back a few years ago, was Christian Bale till he went crazy. But I think that I like the style of I like his style of acting. He is a method actor, and I like the way he sort of really gets into the role. However, I don't like the way when I think it was on the Terminator set and somebody was moving set in the background,
that's right.
and he sort of shouted, "I'm going to get you fired," and
He's
blah blah blah.
Tanika said, yeah, for me, it's based on the plot mainly and also my mood. Oh, so no, that's interesting because we didn't put factor mood in. And actually, you're right. Mood would affect it. So if I'm feeling it, I will go for a certain type of movie. But for me, sort of going back to actors, I know you just said Christian Bale, but I said Bryan Cranston. I thought for a series, I think he's just brilliant. I love Bryan Cranston, the way he goes in backwards and forwards. So when he was in Breaking Bad, I thought he was excellent there.
And he was the best thing in Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh, yeah.
He was by far I loved him as the dad. I thought he was brilliant.
But there's quite a few actors I would watch. I can't name them off the top of my head. But there's ones I think, I like him or her. I will watch them because of that.
Yeah.
That will definitely influence me. I only mentioned Bryan Cranston because I think we were watching, what was the one with the judge? Your Honor.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought he was great in that. I love Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad is one of my favorite series of all time. That really is. And he was so good in that. But there were so many other good actors in that as well.
I think for me, it doesn't matter so much on the actor. I think the subject matter is more what would make me go and see something. And I think when I was younger, so going through the 80s, I think, what was it? Is it what's his name? Who was the one who did so John Hughes and Steven Spielberg were, for me, the best filmmakers.
No. I didn't hear that, Thunder. Did you hear the sad news that Robbie Coltrane has passed away?
Oh my God!
No, I didn't hear. Oh, Hagrid.
Because Angela Lansbury died the other day.
Yeah, she did.
And now Robbie Coltrane.
Oh no!
And do you know what the sad thing was? Where I didn't hear that he had died. Was that today? Was that today he passed away? What the sad thing is with Robbie Coltrane is that, and it's going to make me a little bit tearful actually, was when he did when the Harry Potter reunion was on, and he said, "Oh, what was it?" He said,
"Yeah, she said it's announced today."
Yeah, he won't be around for the next 20 years, but Hagrid will be around.
Oh, and now he's died.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, it's so sad.
Oh. Oh, well, do you know what? As well, I've got to say that when he did say that, I saw that same documentary. I thought he didn't look well.
No, he didn't.
He didn't.
And I think something prompted him to say that. So I wonder if he passed away from an illness.
Could have been, but
and that's why he said that. He said what he said.
yeah, he didn't look well. I've got
Yeah,
to say, 'cause when I looked at it, but if you
I-
think
I
about it,
have to
actually, it's
agree.
quite sad because quite a few of the, well, I say quite a few, some of the Harry Potter cast have passed away now. You had Robbie Coltrane, Alan Rickman as well. He's passed away.
Richard Harris.
Yeah, Richard Harris died as well. So there's quite a few.
There's quite a few that have passed away. Yeah.
Yeah, it is sad, but his legacy will live on.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. Also, as well, an ode to
Yeah.
Robbie Coltrane. If you ever get a chance, do watch Cracker because he was absolutely brilliant in that. He was so good in Cracker, which is a very young Robbie Coltrane.
Yeah.
But I do remember him from sort of gigs in the 80s that he used to
Well, he
do.
played in Frasier. He played one of the brothers in.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he played one of Daphne's brothers.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, in Frasier.
He was always in things like Helen McCroy.
Don't know.
Who's
Which...
Helen
Oh yeah. She was the one who played Tom Felton's Draco's mother, isn't it? I think. That's her. I think she played in Tudors. Is that right? With what's the Irish actor that everybody really likes?
Well, the thing is, as well, people forget this shows how time goes on. The Harry Potter film, the first one, was done over 20 years ago.
I know. That's so shocking to me.
With a lot of the kids in the set have now gone on to have children of their own.
Yeah.
She's in Peaky Blinders. I don't know.
I've not watched Peaky Blinders.
So... You can do your little research while
But I think she was the one that played. I'm sure she played Draco's mum.
Oh, that is sad. That is really, really sad. No, I hadn't heard about Robbie Coltrane. No, thank you for letting us know though, because that was a real. And it just to show he knew. Like you say, wonder if he knew when he said, "I won't be around for the next 20 years."
Yeah, Narcissa Malfoy, Draco's mum. That's who
I
she
didn't
played.
realise she passed away.
That's the actress. She played in Tudors. Yeah.
Yeah, she did play Malfoy's mum.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
There you go. So sad news there. Do you think they'll ever go back and redo all the Harry Potter films?
It seems weird that it's 20 years old. That's the thing. But I think you know who else I really like? Eddie Redmayne as an actor. I feel he's really.
All right, that wasn't quite what I asked you, but yeah.
No, because Eddie Redmayne, he plays in Fantastic Beasts,
he does,
which is a link to Harry Potter. So that's what popped into my mind. I don't know if they will redo it anytime soon, but I think they will redo it.
I agree. I do think so. I think. Do you know what? It's such a money spinner. I think they'll give it another 10 years. And then I think they'll. This is what I think. So I think they'll go through the Fantastic Beasts franchise, finish those, and I think then they'll look at redoing Harry Potter if it's still popular.
But also, what I think with the Fantastic Beasts, I think they are, and not dissing the Harry Potter franchise, but I do feel that they are really good actors.
Yeah,
like really good actors, and I think that. The problem with the Harry Potter films was because they were so popular that they rushed to do them. And that was, I think, the downfall of the film. Not because the problem is, if you've read the books and then you watch the film, you will prefer the books more than the film.
So Thunder said, well, funny enough, Tanika said the same question. Who is your two's favourite actress of all time? I think, Kelly, you love Christopher Reeve.
I do. I absolutely do. And what I love, I tell you what I loved about when he played Superman was the way that he played Clark Kent and then the way that he played Superman.
So Kelly's talking about the change, so how he got for the two characters.
Yeah.
Funny enough, no other actors really tried to do that. They've tried to keep them very similar.
Yeah. So when you watch Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter, blah, blah, blah. And I think that when Brandon Routh also did played Superman, he wasn't expressive enough as both Superman and do you know what? I think you have to have a lot of charisma, and I don't feel I like Henry Cavill, and I do think he's a good actor, but he just doesn't have the charisma. and I think
Oh, I think he's a really good Superman. But anyway, we're going
really?
off topic. So, who is your favorite actor or actress of all time? I've got to say, I think we've just mentioned it as well. I don't think we could say a top one. I think
Yeah.
I can give you like 10, my top 10, but or not even top 10. Just, there's so many good ones. And the thing is, I like quite obscure ones.
Yeah.
But it's very difficult to give her like a top 10. Do you have one, Thunder? My mum said that she loves Christopher Reeve, but her favorite is Henry Cavill.
Ah, yeah, you like Henry Cavill. I prefer Christopher Reeve.
I think I'll tell you what, but they're different types of films.
Yeah.
So I get the impression was the original Superman back in 1970 when Christopher Reeve was doing it. Yeah, choosing a top one is hard. When Christopher Reeve did it, they allowed it to be a real comedy thing. So he does the comedy really well, and he really hams up his awkwardness. I don't know, Lois, but you know, I don't think Cavill was given. To be fair to Henry Cavill, I don't think he was given that free reign. I think he would have been told just play him a bit more deadpan, and which is what he does. I don't think he was able to give that because they certainly didn't want the Superman films to be a comedy like the original.
I don't know who the director was for Henry Cavill.
Zack Wilder. No, what's his name?
Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder, not Zack Wilder.
Yeah, Zack Snyder. No, I know Zack Snyder did the Justice League, but did he also do the Superman?
I think he did
the
Superman one. Yeah, he did the Superman.
I did like his version of the Justice League. I thought that was really good, Zack Snyder. I like people who play completely like Gary Oldman. I think Gary Oldman's a very good actor.
Yeah, he is.
I like the fact that his acting is very diverse. I like Johnny Depp, but for me, Johnny Depp's always playing whimsical characters. So it's almost the same, you know, if he's not playing Edward Scissorhands, he's playing the Pirates of the Caribbean, you know, whatever, Captain Jack in Pirates of the Caribbean. They were sort of like,
yes. No, I was going to say, so going back to play, so we've got Christopher Reeve, we've got Henry Cavill,
Gary Oldman,
with those characters. Is there a controversial figure that you like? So when I say controversial, so if you're thinking like the James Bond, so when you've got one character that's been played by many different actors, do you have a controversial choice for that actor? So you've got Christopher Reeve, you mentioned, but your mum prefers Henry Cavill. You prefer Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
But have you got a controversial, and I say controversial, but a favorite choice of an actor to play a certain role? So I'll give you an example. Would you prefer Johnny Depp as Willy Wonka to Gene Wilder?
It's Gene Wilder all the way. I'll give you one. Well, it's not controversial, but out of all the Spider-Mans, I really like Andrew Garfield.
He was your favorite.
Yeah, he was my favorite. Don't get me wrong. I really like Tom Holland, and I thought he was a good follow-up to Andrew Garfield. But for me, Andrew Garfield would play Spider-Man really good, and I also like Andrew Garfield as an actor. I think he's amazing. I liked him when he did. I can't remember what one it was, but it was the one about Zuckerberg and Facebook.
Oh yeah. I forgot.
I really liked him in that, and I liked him in Spider-Man, and there was a couple of other films that I've seen him in as well, which I really liked. And I think he's a really good, diverse actor. The other one, what's his name? Cooper.
Oh, so if you were casting any actor in an already established role, who would you choose? And that's from Tanika.
What do you mean by an established role, though?
So that's a very good question, actually, Tanika. So I think what Tanika's saying. So in like if you're looking at a real major role, so someone like, correct me if I'm wrong, but someone like who would you have as the new James Bond? Who would you have as the new Batman? Who would you have as so by established role? It's like I said, it's a role that's been going on for so long, and that's had multiple actors in it. That would be an established role.
It's really like.
All right, let's start from the start. James Bond.
Right.
So you've been given carte blanche. They say, Kelly, I am Chubby Broccoli. I'm going to let you pick the next Bond.
I can't think of an actor, but I know I wouldn't choose an older Bond. Like, you know, when they have Doctor Who, and they said, oh yeah, but Doctor Who should be older, because I don't think that. I think because they're going to be playing the part for a long time, I think they need to pick the actor who's sort of like in their sort of late 20s, early 30s.
So Tanika said a lot of people want to see Idris Elba as James Bond. Do you know he is?
But he's too old.
I do think he's missed his chance because he's now 51. Now the problem is they normally like to have the James Bond at late 30s, as Kelly said. No, they don't go late 20s, but they normally have it early to late 30s, so that you've got longevity with that character. If you get a 51-year-old, they can only do 2, maybe 3 films, and that's it. Because they take 2-3 years.
I would have liked to have seen him as James Bond.
It would have been
he
good.
would have been a really good James Bond. I've got to be honest.
So let's see then. I'll give you some. So some of the people that have been chosen. Henry Cavill's one. Tom Hardy was another one that's been touted for it. Eddie Redmayne was one, believe it or not.
It was a bit too young, and I don't know.
The person in Homelander, who's named Damian Lewis, he was another one done. Believe it or not, and I was shocked, was Ewan McGregor was actually touted for it, but I think he's a bit too old now. You had the guy. Now these people's names escape me. They had the guy that was in Game of Thrones. It was one of the main characters in there.
The Danish guy?
No, British guy.
Is he the one that played Bodyguard?
Yes.
Yeah, or is it Kit Harington, the one who played
There's two of them.
There's two of them, yeah.
There's 2 of them that have been chosen. So those are the 2 that were taken.
Right, so Kit Harington.
I've given you enough now. So of those ones, who are you going to pick?
I don't think any of the ones that you've mentioned are good enough.
Oh my God.
Do you know, it's very difficult because...
Oh my God. Tanika, who do you think? Guys, who do you think? Pick for the next James Bond.
There's only been 2 James Bonds that I thought were really good. One was Roger Moore and the other one was Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig was a good actor, actually.
I did not like Pierce Brosnan. I did not like...
Controversial pick. What about Jaden Smith? Jaden's what? As in Will Smith's brother? Will
Smith's son. Do you know what? The thing about Jaden Smith, he is a really good actor. I've got to say, when I've seen him in things, he's been really good. But I don't know if the lifestyle of Hollywood, I don't know if his nature suits the lifestyle of Hollywood.
I think he would be,
because I think he's got substance abuse and stuff like that. I don't know if he has, but
I think he would be far too young, I think, at this stage. It would be, and it would be a huge role. Although, and I don't know if he could do the English accent, but I could see him doing a superhero role. So I could see him doing like a Batman role. I could definitely maybe see him doing one of those sort of bigger roles as well. I'm not sure about the James Bond role. I think he's too young for it, personally.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen him in a couple of things, but I really liked him in The Karate Kid. I thought, do you know what I mean? I really liked him. I thought he was really good. I liked him in Pursuit of Happiness. I did like him in The Day the Earth Stood Still. He was just a brat. You know, when someone does their job well, if they're playing a character that is a brat or they're horrible or whatever, and you actually dislike them or whatever, you know that they're doing a good job. And that's how you know the sign of a good actor.
So, Tanika, what would you cast? Because I thought I was just interested you raised the question. So I wondered if you had someone in mind and a role in mind. Is there a character that you would actually put in there as well? So is there a certain character and a certain actor you had in mind?
And just going back to James Smith, I really liked him in, what's the one that got panned and he played with his dad? But
that was a terrible film. That was really bad.
But I really liked his acting in it. I've got to say, he is a good actor.
He's not a bad actor.
I have to say he's better than Will Smith. He's better than his dad.
John Boyega. Is it John Boyega?
Oh, yeah, the guy who played in Star Wars, yeah.
He would be an interesting pick. Now, he's quite young as well. I do wonder if he's too young.
I can't see him as James Bond.
I think he's too young. I think he's too young.
Do you know, I feel like with him, he...
Oh, sorry. The other one I was going to say, actually, so the other one of the biggest favourites, though, so they reckon the favourites are between Tom Hardy and what's the actor's name that was in Bridgerton? the mixed race guy, very good looking guy.
Oh yeah, oh him. Yeah, I know. I don't know his name, but I know what you mean. Yeah.
I don't know his name, but he is talented. He's 27, maybe too young. Yeah, I do think he'd be too young. So I think he needs another 10 years because then he'll obviously mature in his acting and obviously the looks as well. And I think that's what they time to go for that look.
See, I feel like with James Bond, he is very physical, and he's like my all-time favorite James Bond film is Live and Let Die. That's
Yeah.
my all-time favorite.
Roger Moore.
And yeah, and it's Roger Moore. I didn't like Sean Connery. I felt like he was too smarmy for it.
Well, you got to
Like,
bear
it's
in mind
like,
at the time,
oh,
1960s.
Money penny.
Yeah.
I didn't like all of that sort of business. I didn't. Timothy Dalton was okay. I didn't like Pierce Brosnan. I don't like Pierce Brosnan in anything. I don't think he's a good
Oh, I
actor.
quite like Pierce Brosnan.
I don't think he's a good actor. I didn't
He's
like
not
him.
a great actor, no.
No, there's nothing that he's been in that I could. There's usually one film, even if I don't like the actor, there's normally one film that I've seen that I think, oh yeah, that film's okay. There's nothing that Pierce Brosnan's been in that I thought I didn't even like him in Mrs. Doubtfire. I think he was very good.
But it was a very small cast. Not a small role, but it was a very sort of bland role. He just played a good-looking new boyfriend.
Yeah, he played in the Thomas Crown Affair. I didn't think that was good either.
No, it wasn't a great film.
Yeah, he's just not.
So Tanika as well. Putting the question on to you. I don't know why I picked James Bond, or let's do something else. Maybe Batman or Superman. You have been given the power to select the next actor. So they said it's down to you. You have the final call. Who would you pick? Are you happy with Robin Pattinson, or would you pick someone else? Now, I thought Robin Pattinson and Batman was actually really good. You weren't so sure, but I thought he played that really well.
I fell asleep during it. That's how good I thought it was.
No, yeah, but you fall asleep with everything.
Not everything. There are many films I can stay awake
I
for.
thought he was really good, and it's like Evelyn watched it with us, and I thought she said she hit the nail on the head. It's just different, but I thought he played it really, really sort of deadpan with it as well. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was and also I'm coming from a point where I'm not a big Robin Pattinson fan, but I thought he did that really well.
I think he's a really good actor. But I don't. Yeah,
Zoe Kravitz, I thought was quite good as Catwoman.
Yeah. Do you know what? I've got to say, Zoe Kravitz is fast becoming one of my sort of like good female actors. I think she's very good actress. Yeah, I liked her in Fantastic Beasts. I thought, and she just looks so much like her mum. She looks so much like Lisa Bonet.
Lisa Bonet, that's
it. She really looks like Lisa Bonet. I felt, she was good in that. I thought she was good in X-Men. Is it Next Generation or whatever it was that they called it? I thought she was good in that. And there's quite a few things that I've seen her in, and I feel like she's very good. She's a very good actress. But I would say, coming of age type actors and actresses, I feel Tom Holland's good. Zendaya's really good. Zoe Kravitz is really good. Did I say Tom Holland?
Yeah.
And Jaden Smith, but I feel like with Jaden Smith, he is ruining his talents a little bit, but he's a very good actor, better than Will Smith, but that's just my opinion. My only problem with Boyega is that I feel like he is a bit too show-offy. I think I like his acting, but I feel like off camera and stuff, he's just a bit too show-off, and it doesn't endear me. Then when I don't like not that I don't like the person, but when I don't think the person is like, then it interrupts my mind in the characters that they play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So for me, Tanika said, I think Zac Efron would fit. Oh, for the Batman, that's a good one. And be a new take on the role, but I don't know if he has the depth to pull it off. That is interesting. I actually think he could do that. He's matured a lot in his looks.
Yeah, he has.
And in his build as well. I do think he would do a good Batman.
But
Very good choice.
Like Tanika said, his depth. Don't get me wrong. I think Zac Efron's a good actor. There was one that he did, right? He was really young, and he played an autistic boy.
Yeah.
And his acting was super. It was so good. I don't know if it was with Pam Dorber, and I think Pam Dorber she was the one who played in Mork and Mindy. Pam Dorber, was that her?
Oh, I don't know the name, but yeah.
And
I know
I
you
think she played his mum.
Okay.
In this film, it was one of those Hallmark type made for TV films. And he was really good. But do you know who I think is a good actor? It's just popped into my mind. He played oh god, he played Minnie in one of these thriller television series that we used to watch, and I can't remember which one. But he actually played in Black Panther. Now, if Boseman was still alive,
yeah, I mean,
I would have said Boseman for James Bond.
Well, now Chadwick Boseman,
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, because he was obviously playing Black Panther.
Yeah.
People don't know, he actually wanted to ditch the Black Panther role because he loves character roles, but actual character. But he said playing the, he said he just got bored playing it, and his plan was to try and get out of going in it. He signed the contract. So he was committed to another one. Sadly, unfortunately, before he died. But he said it was always his plan to get rid of it because he was playing. There's a film come out where he actually plays a Vietnam soldier as well, and there's another one where I think he plays like a 1920s jazz musician. Which both of them look really, really good. I do want to watch those. But those are the roles he loved. He loved those roles.
Did he play James Brown?
No, it wasn't James Brown. It was a different role.
I thought there was one. I can't remember.
I might be wrong, but I don't think so. But no, that was it. So, but apparently, he wanted to ditch the Black Panther role, and he wanted to concentrate more on these sort of character roles, which is quite interesting.
The one who played not Michael B. Jordan, but the other guy in the other tribe, I think he's really good, and I like his style. And I can't, his name escapes me. But I remember him playing. He also plays in Modern Family. He does a stint in Modern Family. He's really good in Modern Family. He plays on the football team, I think. Yeah, it's a football team. I was thinking, is it basketball? But no, it's football. That the husband sort of manages the football team. But yeah.
So I'm going to change the subject slightly. Tanika, did you have any luck with your going for your pay rise? I just wondered. Yes, I was. Funny enough, actually, I was listening to some videos on self-confidence earlier on. So it was just interesting it made me think of you as well. It's basically how to be more confident and assertive, which I was interested in listening to.
Somebody reached out to me about a role, and of course they didn't say how much the role was for, and I was just like. And they were saying, "Oh, can you tell us your salary expectation and all of this?" And whenever they are, I don't like it when they ask these questions. And I was going to start off by saying but this time I didn't. I sort of it wasn't a role that I was really interested in anyway, and I wanted to move in a different direction. So I sort of put the direction that I wanted to go in, and obviously if she liked the email, then she'll contact me, but if she doesn't, then she won't. What I did this time is I just put how much I want to earn per hour.
Yeah.
That's what I've done now. I just thought instead of saying, oh, I want this annually or want that annually, because I don't know, because maybe it might be a part-time role, maybe it might be long-term contract role, so if I just set it out from the beginning, then nobody can say, oh, well, we didn't know, or they didn't know, blah blah blah. So that's what I put down. I just put down per hour. I didn't give like an annual.
Definitely with the thing of knowing your worth. I think that was one of the main things as well. And they were talking about, and it's true, sort of more agreeable people is the word, sorry, are less likely to get pay rises because they're less likely to ask for it, which is quite interesting. So that was one of the things I was reading recently, and I'm quite an agreeable person, and I'm those things are things I do try to stop I was going to mention it, but didn't want to derail the convo.
Oh,
I
no.
have a good news. They set up a meeting for next week to discuss it. They're also sending me the whole project brief, so it looks promising. Oh, fantastic!
There you go.
But when they do the meeting as well, know your self-worth. That's so important.
Yeah.
That is so important.
But also have your budget prepared and everything else, and just lay it on the line and do the breakdown. And then also back yourself with other jobs roles that are in your niche market, and then show, well, actually, if they say, oh, well, you know, we don't, well, and then you can say, well, actually, if you look here, you look here, that these are the going rates, and sort of do it that way. But you don't have to bring it out straight away. Just that if they say, well, you know, blah blah blah, and they sort of try and get round it, then you can bring out, that's at that time is when you will, you know, you bring out your research. Well, as you can see, it's this, it's this. So, you know, it's of the market. Do you know what I mean?
Well, the main thing is as well is being confident. So when I've given advice to people that are doing job interviews as well, I've always said it's really important that you come across as, I know it's not a job interview, but it's really important to be confident. There's a world of differences with somebody that's going, yeah, I sort of help with this and sort of help with that, and I get involved in there. Somebody said, no, I do this, I do that. So when you go in, just say, no, I am worth that. So go, no, this is what I want, and yes, I am absolutely worth that. Tanika said, but even better news, there was a new company I worked for this year who I really love. So much so, I would work there full time. Wow. I reached out to them today. I reached out to them today, thanking them for the work.
Wow.
Well done.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's all coming together for you. This is really good. And saying, I would love to work. So you reached out to them, love more with them, and they replied in under an hour saying they would love to talk to me about some opportunities. I have a meeting with them on Tuesday with them.
Wow. Fingers crossed then. I hope you get it. Honestly.
Again, know your worth. Definitely know your worth and be confident. If you come across as confident and exude confidence, do you know what? I was reading, this is really interesting. So I was reading, well, I found it interesting. I was reading Michael Caine's autobiography. And he said his philosophy is always be nice to the people on the way up, because you'll soon meet them on the way back down.
Yeah.
But anyway, he said when he was doing his acting training, he was taught to walk with what they call the linear thread. So you've got to pretend, bear with me, you pretend there's a thread all the way through your body and someone's pulled it up so you're really upright. And he said, always do that. He said, even if you don't go on to become an actor and you don't go on to be anything else, if you walk with a assertion and you walked with your back up straight and tall, he said, the respect it commands is something else. If you present yourself that way. Now, I know that seems quite weird and you think, well, hey, presenting the way I walk, but it does make a difference. It really does give the people the impression that you're confident. And I think that's what you want to show is you're confident.
Yeah, but for sure, they already like her.
Oh, totally.
So, yeah, they already like her. But I think if you're going into a new role or people that, I think, yeah, for sure. But I think they already know you. Clearly, they like your work. Otherwise, they wouldn't have contacted you in under an hour, which is amazing. So they already know what your work is like. They've already worked with you before. They want to talk to you about new opportunities. You've just got to have in mind what it is that you would like to earn annually. So have it in mind of what you'd like to earn annually. Like I said, go and have a look at sort of those, because you work in quite a niche market. I remember you saying, have a look and then know that annually that is what you kind of want to earn, or per hour, like I did.
Well, I mean, money's always the crude conversation. So let them go with the offer and see what you say. But Tanika said, thanks so much, guys. I will be preparing this weekend and getting some ideas together to propose them. That's a really good idea. Right. So I've done interviews for many years over the years. And do you know what? If you don't prep, it really shows. And in actual fact, it always shocks me the number of people that clearly do not prepare for an interview. So the fact that you're doing that is a really good idea. It really does. Also, as well, the more preparation you do, the 7 Ps they call it. I won't say them because it's quite rude, but the 7 Ps, if you do the preparation before that, it really does. It gives you confidence and it really shows you you're up for the job.
Well, they say that fail to prepare, prepare to fail,
Yeah,
isn't it?
and that's true. That's very, very true.
But also when you're younger, you don't know to do all of this stuff.
No.
You don't know to prepare or to do interviews and how to do interviews and stuff like that. And it's all about someone giving you a chance, really. But when you hear whatever it is, that's the time to negotiate, I think. I don't know what you think, but
Well,
I think I would always negotiate.
well. You've got to be careful because, like I said, you never ever lead a conversation with money.
No, you don't. But when they bring it up, you wait for them to bring it
Yeah,
up.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you will have that negotiation part, but it's always a difficult conversation. Money is always a difficult one because you don't want to lead with it. You want to go with it. But I think what you're doing is absolutely brilliant. Yes, they pay very well, but I worked freelance for them, which makes it harder to plan ahead sometimes. My dream would be for them to offer me something consistent, so I'm hoping for that. Oh, so you want to basically, when you say consistent, you want a permanent job there,
Yeah.
not contract.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if they offer you a job, but they don't bring up how much you're going to be earning, what do? You have to bring it up.
Yeah, but there's ways you can do it. So you would say something along the lines of, it's always crude. Normally when the job is advertised, it will have the pay.
Yeah.
If it doesn't have the pay, there's a reason for that. And
Yeah.
it's normally because it's lower than your expectations. This is going to be slightly different because they're going to meet with you. But for me, and I'm not, Tanika's probably got a better idea, but I would just ask for the terms at the end of it. So
Yeah.
can I just ask a bit about the terms and conditions of the job? You can say, I hate to ask, but what's they may turn to you and do the opposite and say, what is your salary expectation?
Yeah.
And then you would just have to say.
That's the thing. Because that's what that lady said to me. What is your salary expectation? Now, the problem with that, and as Mark says, it's such a difficult subject to broach or to guess at. So you can say, well, I know for the role it's between this much, like going by the market.
Yeah.
I've had to look at the market, and I know for the role it's between this amount and this amount. I would be happy with this amount, or between this amount, and say what is the budget or whatever. But you definitely have to research, because you definitely have to go with a key figure in mind. Now, if they meet that or exceed that, if they exceed that, it's even better. If they meet that, that's really good. A friend of mine, she went for an interview, and it was priced at a certain amount, or she thought it was priced at a certain amount. But then when she got there, it was even more money than what she thought. So it was, win-win. But she went in with a figure in mind. She'd researched the market, and she knew that it was between this amount and this amount. And so that is what she wanted to hit. But yeah, if the next time when somebody says to me, because I've had it a few times where people have reached out to me, only about 3 times now. Oh yeah, I've seen your CV, but what is your salary expectation? And I really hate it. And so this time, I answered it a little bit differently, in the sense of what I wanted per hour. But what I neglected to put, which is what I'm saying to you now, so don't neglect to put it. You've looked at the market, and you know that the market is between this amount and this amount. And so you want somewhere in between or something like that. So at least then you can negotiate and come to a fair figure that suits you and that suits the company. But yeah, that's what you have to do. You have to have a look at what the average market is, and like you say, your thing is very niche, so you're in an even better position.
Absolutely, the more niche is the better. But well done, that's really good. We're really
so
pleased for you as
yeah.
well. It's lovely to see, actually. The fact that I love seeing people's comments like that, Tanika's and Thunder as well, where Thunder's been keeping us up to date with all the dates. Love linked into that as well, because we'd love to see how you guys progress.
I'm sure Thunder has been on a date or was going on a date.
Thunder, if you're still there, are you on a date?
Yes. Did you go on a date? What happened on the date? But yeah, I feel like even going like for interviews and things like that, I do feel like it's really difficult. And especially now in this day and age, like I work in an industry where there's loads of people working, doing the same jobs that I can do. Do you know what I mean? Well, they can't do what I can do, to be fair, in my opinion.
There you go.
I know the way I work, and I've seen the way other people work, and it's not the same. And I think there is a certain expectation. I have a certain expectation in the way that I work, but I also um, I have an expectation when I'm working with my colleagues, right? But they don't meet that expectation. It's a difficult one because I'm just like, well, that's not how you do it. You need to do it this way, or you need to do it that way. Um, so yeah, it's a difficult. Yeah, I feel for me sometimes it's a bit of a difficult one. Um, and I've been in places where I'm in a room with other people, and I know I'm working harder than the other people in the
Yeah,
room.
that's always frustrating. I think as well. Now, you can never mitigate against that, but
Yeah, and it's difficult. And the thing is, so like the harder that you work, and people let you do it, and then when you don't do it, and you've left it, and people, oh yeah, but this wasn't done. Well, it's not only me that's in the room, though, is it?
yeah, but I was just sometimes it's easier to tell certain people than others. I've always found that in a team that you'll find that some people will do the bulk of the work, but the trouble is the more they do, the more they get, because and also as well, it's just easier to approach that person because they're helpful.
Yeah,
Sometimes it doesn't pay to be helpful. Well, I shouldn't say that. Of course, it always pays to be helpful, but in those circumstances, I think that's why some people are like that.
I've been in 3 positions, right, where um I've always been a hard worker. There's no denying it. I've always been a hard worker. I So there's been 3 positions where I've always been the one that's worked the hardest, and I'm not shy to get on and do work and whatever it is. Obviously, it's the type of work. And once they know that you work hard, and it's like, oh well, she's gonna do it. Oh, she got there before us. Like, people then stop trying. It is almost like they're not trying as hard as you, and so because you're the one that tries the hardest, you're the one then that's left with the work. And then if you want to a day where you're taking it easy, people are like, oh, oh, she's not. It's almost like I'm the one that's being lazy, and I'm like, no. It's almost like if your work time is a certain time. Let's say your work time is, I don't know, 10 o'clock, but you get in at, I don't know, 9:30, but your start time is yeah, let's say your start time is 10 o'clock, but you get in at 9:15 or 9:30. The moment you start getting in, and you do this for ages, and the moment you start getting in at 10 o'clock, it's like, oh, you're late. No, I'm not late. I'm on time. I'm on time. Just because I get in early and it's become a norm does not mean I'm late when I get in on time. It just means I didn't get in at 9:15 or 9:30 or whatever. And you'll find that a lot when you work harder. And there's been times when I've been in a room full of sort of like 5 people, and it's a small room or whatever, and you're working the hardest. I was about to say, working your A off, and you're working the hardest, and people are just like letting you get on with it. They're not even that bothered. They're just like, that's annoying. But equally, there's been a time when I've worked in a room with other ladies, and they're working just as hard as I am, and we're there, and we're just like getting on and doing the work. And that's been really nice to be in a room where other people are working just as hard as you. That's been, yeah, I've liked that.
There you go, guys. We've been going for nearly 2 hours. I think we're going to leave it there for tonight.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for a really good chat again. Really nice to catch up all with you on a Friday, because we always get to wish you a happy weekend as well and see what your
Yeah.
plans are for the weekend. That's it from Mark and Kelly's Trips, Tips and Things this week. But we will be back Tuesday, 6 p.m. UK time, as we normally do. Until then, look after yourselves, do take care, and remember, have a fantastic weekend. You are never too old to have fun. We will see you next week on Tuesday. Until then, take care. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye for now.
Bye for now. Bye.